Welcome, everybody, to Inside Boxing Weekly Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Right now I want to welcome in my co-host, Jeremiah Preisser. How you doing tonight, Jeremiah?
I'm doing real well, Mike. How are you doing? I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. Always excited to be here. Let's talk some boxing.
All right, most definitely. And if you listened to our show last week, Boxing Legends Show, we had Ruben Castillo on, so we figured, we're going to recap what happened last weekend in Vegas. Why not have Ruben back? So welcome to the Grueling Truth, Ruben Castillo.
Thank you so much. It sounds. I got to tell you, Michael, you sound really good, but Jeremiah sounds like he just woke up or he's awfully bored.
Jeremiah?
Probably.
Well, I think Jeremiah's still in shell shock because last week you told him he didn't know shit about boxing because he liked Vasily Lomachenko.
Oh, God.
You've really heard his confidence? I mean, he called me. His wife called me, and she said, I don't know what happened on that show, but he's just curled up in the fetal position for 3 days and won't move. What do I do?
No. Jeremiah,
I haven't been to work, I've been to work for a week.
Lomachenko, and you guys know, of course, DeMond Wilson. DeMond was on Sanford and Son. He says the same thing you do. He thinks so much of Lomachenko. The guy's only got 10 professional fights, for crying out loud. 10. He's got 3 million amateurs. Well, who didn't? He hasn't convinced me. Wait till you get a little Mexican. Let Double Trouble, let my company. We'll get a little Mexican from Mexico City. Gonna whoop that ass. He doesn't convince me, bro. He really doesn't. And I have a lot of respect for the Russian fighters. This guy does not convince me. But that's okay. We'll talk about Canelo.
Well, I'm kind of in between you and Jeremiah, not in a gay way, but it's basically it's the same thing for me. He's still a little young, and, how many guys have we seen over the past 30 or 40 years, Ruben, that, get through 15, 20 fights, look like they're going to be something great, and they just disappear?
Let me throw this one at him. Jeremiah, do you know who Ruben Olivares is?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, the band.
Okay. This guy had 76 wins, 67 by knockout. Now, that's a fighter, Jeremiah. That guy, in his prime, as a bantamweight, would knock Lomachenko's... Okay, we're going to keep this one pretty clean. He'll knock him out. He'll put him to sleep. We'd have to put pajamas on him, put that little night hat on him. We'd have to get him a little pillow, but he would knock his brains out.
In his mouth?
Yes. He would knock his brains in. Lomachenko, imagine Lomachenko against a Julio. Right now, I'm 59 years old. I'll slap the shit out of him. But never mind, because I got tired coming up my stairs. Anyway, I don't care.
You just got to get it done in 15 to 20 seconds then, right, Ruben?
He's got to be done now. I have to shoot him in the second or third round because I'm not going to deal with him. But, again, who knows? He may develop to be somebody. Right now, he's not.
All right, let's go ahead. We'll get to the fights last weekend. We'll start off with the Joseph Diaz against Manuel Avila. What's your opinion on Diaz, Ruben?
I like Diaz. Diaz is and I know his manager, and I know him. I know his father. This kid works hard. He works very, very hard, and he's a young kid. He's not a partier. Like we were when we were young and stuff, but he works really hard. I like him a lot. I like Joe Diaz.
I think Jeremiah, the thing that was impressive there was I think that Manuel Oliva was a fairly significant step up in class for him, and Diaz seemed to handle him fairly easily.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. You can see that Diaz had a long amateur background. He was just too sharp. Technically he was better. He has quick hands. He exhibited pop. The kid looks well-rounded. I just don't think Avila was ready for that level of talent, and Diaz won clearly.
So, Ruben, my question to you is, you know him a little bit, the family. How far do you think Diaz is from making the step up to fight for a world title?
I think here within the next few fights, I would give him 5 more fights. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you want him to be a champion or a great champion, you hold out it because look at Canelo. Okay, remember when Canelo fought Mayweather? He's a young kid, and he got slapped around. Right now, let's say Mayweather was in his prime, it wouldn't touch him. Mayweather wouldn't hurt him, and Canelo would lay down some hammers on him. But here's a kid the same way. If you let him mature a little bit, maybe even go up a weight division, let him get some fights, and get him occasionally with somebody in the top 10, because you can only fight fish or you can only fight fish for so long. Back in our era, we didn't do this. I mean, I fought people in the top 10 most of my career, so and that's when it was at its best. But now it's a business, but I think he's gonna develop to be a hell of a fighter. That kid's a good kid. He's like I said, he works real hard. He's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he definitely is. The next fight we're going to talk about, Jeremiah, we'll start off with you. Lucas Matisse against Emmanuel Taylor. First time Matisse had fought in a while. I thought Matisse looked better than I thought he would. I mean, Taylor's a tough guy, and Matisse got him out relatively easy there in 5 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor's a guy who's exhibited some skill against guys like Adrian Broner, for instance. I mean, Taylor was pretty tooth and nail with him for most of the fight. Of course, then he gets dropped, I believe, in the last round. But no, I mean, I always knew Matisse would adjust well at welterweight, because when you look at his fights, against Mike Dallas Jr., for instance, if I'm not mistaken, he came in at 163 on the unofficial weigh-in. So I always knew he was well-suited physically, but I agree. I mean, I think the layoff probably did him good. His hand speed was just about the same as it was at 140. His punching power certainly looks there. My only thing is that, I've always liked Matisse. How well does he do at 147? I mean, I like to see him make a run for it, but there's a lot of talent up there.
Jeremiah, I want to ask you, when was the fight with Mike Dallas Jr. and Matisse? Do you remember when that fight was? How long ago?
I believe it was about 3 years ago.
Michael Dallas Jr. is from Bakersfield, and I've known this kid since he was 5 years old, 6 years old. His father, Michael Dallas, passed away right around the time that they fought. And Michael was not in the right frame of mind, of course. He lost his dad. But I like Michael Dallas, but Michael is a kid that he should be a lot more than what he has shown or what he's done. And I don't even know if he's still fighting any longer. But Matisse, I like Matisse, but he's not going to be one of the great ones. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I mean, it's going to be tough for him to, there's inroads there because he's associated with Golden Boy, but I don't know if I see him being a guy like Keith Thurman or the winner of Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. But, Dallas is still fighting, though only sporadically. He actually fought a undefeated prospect last year, Dusty Harrison, and a lot of people thought that he was going to fight, but most people felt that Dusty Harrison got the nod because he was the money kid, right? You know what I mean? The promoters were backing him. But, yeah, I mean, Dallas is a good fighter. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and we see it time and time again. But Matisse is a good fighter. I think he'll be a top 10 guy in no time. But, whether he wins a title, that's another question altogether.
All right, Ruben, I know you like guys that can pop, so now we'll talk about David Lemieux fought Marcos Reyes. Actually, Reyes, tough dude, lasted 10 rounds, went the distance. What's your take on Lemieux as a fighter?
Well, I have to tell you, I had so many people here at my house. That fight I didn't get to see, and I don't remember the kid, but unless they stand out like Garcia or these guys, unless they're a standout, I don't pay much attention, and maybe I should, because now I'm going to get back and do fights, and you guys are going to know about the fights, and you're going to come to the fights, but unless they're standout. And here's the thing, because when we do our promotion, we're going to have former fighters, former champions, former icons, fighters know fighters, and we're going to have the cream of the crop. So when we do our shows, we're going to have standouts. I can tell you, like, remember we just talked about Lemieux or Matisse. Matisse, he may be a pretty good champion. He's not a standout to me. I tell you what, Garcia's a much better fighter, but and even though they're different weights or whatever, but boxing styles make fighters, and if you can use your style and Because you can put 20 fighters and put them in the ring with each other. I can tell you in 5 minutes who needs to go get a job, who's going to make it in this world, and who needs to be a pimp, whatever they want to do. I can tell you in 5 minutes who's going to be a champion and who's not. And you know, but it's a shame about Michael Dallas is going nowhere. He's going absolutely nowhere. You know, when you have, and here's a crazy thing. I have a cousin, Daniel Gonzalez. He's from Billings, Montana. This guy, this kid, he has such a passion for this sport, but his record's like 16 wins and 36 losses. I asked my cousin, and I said, Daniel, if you were to reverse your record, 38 wins and 16 losses, that's still horrible. Get out. And you know, he did it because his older cousin, and he could, and believe me, he's got so much passion. He just never had. He had to work and fight. He had a wife that has 3 kids. He's got 3 kids with. That he's got. You know, she left. She was a tweaker, and she took off, and she's a mess. She's homeless now, but he did a good job raising his kids. And he had to work and fight. So when you got 2 jobs like that, you're not going to do anything. You know, I can see Jeremiah can be a hell of a DJ because he sleeps all day.
What about
yeah? And actually, the guy you're talking about, your cousin, actually fought Mike Dallas, didn't he?
I have no idea. You know, and I have stopped many fights, and he's still fighting now. Are you looking him up right now?
I'm looking him up right now, but he lost to Mike Dallas 2010. His last fight was March 25th. He lost to a guy that was 7-4 in Billings.
There you go. How do you lose to a guy 7-4? And if you talk to my cousin, he said, I got robbed. Bro, you've been robbed more than Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? Cut the shit. Cut it out. You know, I don't buy that. You know, and unless, because, you know, when you everybody can tell you if somebody got robbed. I mean, that's all over the place. You know, but he didn't get robbed. And he's not a good 7-4. Beat him. I can beat a 7-4 right now. Me and Jeremiah both. What do you think, Jeremiah? Let's do it.
I'm in for some tag team.
We're talking about boxing, Jeremiah.
We're talking about boxing, Jeremiah. Come on.
Now, I'm still talking about the pimping thing. I mean,
you know, the scary thing is the way me and Ruben seem to think alike.
Is that crazy? We're 2 old perverts, my friend.
All right, so we're talking about guys that should have been pimps instead of boxers. Let's talk about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Got beaten 12 rounds by Canelo Alvarez. What was your take on the fight, Ruben?
I predicted that Canelo would stop him in 5. And the only reason he didn't is because that catch weight bullshit. You know, I don't like catch weights. Because at 160, Canelo would put him he'd knock him out, send him to the Wizard of Oz. You know, he would be clicking his heels. There's no place like home. But now 165 and now you know Mike, they have the luxury of having the weigh-ins the day before. In our era, they didn't. Michael,
the morning of, wasn't it?
The day of, at 12 noon, and you're fighting. You got to be at the arena in 6 hours, my friend. So by the time they fought, Chavez Jr. had to weigh 185, 190. You know, and Canelo's still at 65. So I don't like that. But at 160, he'd have knocked him out.
Yeah, and Jeremiah, the thing is this, the people that complain about the fight, I mean, the star of this show was Oscar De La Hoya for getting people to buy into this being a big-time fight. When you look at Chavez's past, I mean, this is a guy that's been knocked out a few times. He went life and death with Brian Vera twice. So really there was no reason to think, other than a size difference, that he would really have a chance against Canelo, was there?
No, I mean, didn't we talk about that on the live show? I mean, you know, I pointed out the fact that Chavez, he hadn't beaten anybody worth a shit in, half a decade? I mean, when he beat Andy Lee, I mean, it was a good win. but he watched
when Andy Lee's your best win, you probably shouldn't be on a pay-per-view show with Canelo.
I was just going to say, who in the hell is Andy Lee?
Andy Lee is a white Irishman that can punch and has knocked a few people out, but usually gets knocked out.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who doesn't get over the hump. I mean, he's one of those guys who can hang with top guys because of his power, but in terms of skill, he's not that good. But yeah, I mean, Chavez was getting outboxed, the entire fight, and then he just takes the punches and finally rolls over him. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I think too many people made too much about the weight. I mean, again, Chavez, as we pointed out on the live show again, in terms of skill, he just wasn't on Canelo's level. People were putting far too much. Yes.
The thing is his last name. When your father is Julio Cesar Chavez, well then they always think that, and just think about this. When in hell have you ever had a world champion or an icon where the son comes? Look at Marvis Frazier. Tyson almost killed him. The son's in boxing. I don't know. I'm not saying like.
Yeah, but you know what? Marvis Frazier was a pretty good boxer. He just wasn't big enough to be a heavyweight. If he would have stuck at cruiserweight instead of trying to fight at heavyweight, he might have been able to win a championship at some point.
Well, we'll never know, Michael, because he got knocked the freak out.
I know, but he weighed 201 pounds also.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is true, though. I mean, you look at Thomas Hearn's son, you look at Aaron Pryor's son. Salvador Sanchez had a son who fought, too, but, nobody knew much about him because, he just wasn't a good fighter.
Guess what his name was?
Salvador Sanchez?
Absolutely. And he fought in Houston, Texas. I'm sorry. And he fought in, where the hell was it? San Antonio. And this guy, and he had the same trunks that Salvador used to wear. And he looked exactly like him, the chin, the afro, the whole shit. And this kid took a beating, and he took a beating, and then in between rounds, his trainer was slapping the shit out of him until finally, I went to his corner during the fight, when the fight was going on, and I told his trainer, you slap him, I told him in Spanish, you slap him again, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. He's getting beat the crap out of, and you're slapping him in the corner? Nothing's going to change. We're in the 7th round, fucker. I was so mad. Sorry about that word. I was so mad, bro. I was just so pissed that he was doing that to this kid. And there's not a doubt in my mind he was trying, And then they did. Then the manager, I heard after the fight, took his check. Oh boy, there's so many reasons just to get. That night there was too many reasons to get arrested.
Salvador Sanchez's nephew fights too.
His what?
His nephew?
Yeah, another one that can't fight a lick.
No, he got knocked out by a 2-2 guy recently. So yeah, he's not.
There you go. Isn't that crazy how it doesn't work? It just doesn't work. I have a son that I told him, he fought amateurs and stuff like that. But my son thought that, you can call in your road work, I'll sleep in. I'll call in 5 miles, I'll be all right. They don't train like we did. They don't do, and he's going to be, he's the president of Double Trouble, and he knows boxing and he knows fighters and he does that. But I'd rather see him on this side than and he'll never get in the ring. That's never going to happen.
Well, and I'll tell you, the most successful father-son would have probably been, and I don't think they were biological, but Floyd Patterson and Tracy Harris Patterson.
I thought Raymond Mancini, because his dad was Papa Boom, and he was
Lenny.
Yeah,
number one contender.
But again, and Raymond, look at Ray. Man, that guy was so. I just love Raymond. Raymond's a dear friend, and he fought with his heart. He always had his heart in his hands. When that bell rang, he didn't look good fighting, but damn, he could fight.
And I'll tell you another father-son is I believe Leon Spinks and Corey Spinks are father and son, aren't they?
Right. Now Corey's not bad.
Corey's all right. I mean, he was a IBF welterweight champion for a while. But you're right. Overall, there's not much to choose from there when you're looking at father-sons.
Paez is a son. Now, Jorge Jr. in the early stages of their careers, they were going to fight Chavez Jr. and Paez Jr. And Paez Jr. would have knocked his brains in. He's a much better fighter than Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
But again, he didn't do anything with his career. I don't know. He might still be fighting, but I don't see anything happening with him.
Yeah, he's still fighting, but he's fighting, fringe level fights at this point. But I mean, a clear example too is Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Floyd Mayweather Jr. I mean, Sr. He was, he fought Sugar Ray Leonard. Wasn't a half.
Senior,
I think
Floyd didn't do too much in his career, and that's what I didn't. Now, do you remember? Jeremiah? Do you remember that HBO special where Junior just laid into his father? That's when I lost all respect for him.
The 24/7.
Right. He told him, "You're never shit boxing," and maybe he wasn't, but you don't talk to your father like that. No. Roger was a great friend of mine, and Roger, that's his uncle. That the Mayweather. Here's the thing about them. They never drank one drop of alcohol in their life. Never part. I don't know, because they're from Michigan. And I don't know what it was, but they never drank. You'd have thought they're from Utah, but they're not. Because a black guy in Utah is either trespassing or he's going to rob. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true.
Or he plays for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, that's true. No, but I mean, Jeff Mayweather is, he was a pro fighter too. I mean, he wasn't as good as Roger or even Mayweather Sr., but I mean, that family's been at it for, ever.
Forehead on Jeff? He has a big ass forehead, bro. He's
got a 7 head.
Yeah, he got a 5 head. The guy's a nice guy. I don't care for the way Floyd Jr. treated his father, but that family there, they were brought to this world to fight. Other ones, it doesn't work. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and instead of talking about this Chavez-Canelo thing, which I think was a joke and a huge disappointment, and luckily I didn't pay to see it. I just streamed it for free because there's no way in hell I was going to pay for it. But let's talk about Canelo.
I paid for it. Now,
you got Canelo coming up against Triple G.
Okay.
What's your first take on that fight, Ruben?
Okay. Tell me the guy that Triple G fought at the Forum about a year ago. Something Jr. I'm thinking Washington Jr.
Willie Monroe?
Willie Monroe. Jeremiah, you're becoming my idol.
Hey, I knew that too. He just answered before I did.
Oh. Willie Monroe Jr. had 9 knockouts in his career as a pro?
Yeah, something like that.
He hit Triple G with a straight left hand that stopped him right in his tracks. And, of course, Triple G knocked him out the next round. But when he stopped him in his tracks, I said, oh, no. Oh, boy. Because if Canelo does that, wow. I'm a diehard Triple G fan. And I'm playing golf with Abel Sanchez. But I'm going to think with my head and not my heart. I'm going to go with Canelo. He hits hard.
Okay. Jeremiah?
And I think wait a minute, hold on. Don't you think that Canelo can take a shot?
I don't think Canelo's ever taken a shot against a puncher near as big as what Triple G is. My question with Triple G is, over the last year, including the fight you just referenced, I don't think that he's looked as good defensively. I don't think he's sharp, or I don't think he's been as sharp a puncher. So my question is, with his age, he had a lot of amateur fights also. Is he on the downward side? Plus, my other question is this. A lot of people compare him. I listened to a boxing podcast last night that was the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard, where this guy's on there talking about how Triple G is maybe the greatest middleweight he's ever seen. And my point is this. It's really hard to be an all-time great unless I see you beat an all-time great. And Triple G's beaten some solid fighters, but I don't think he's beaten any great fighters. And I think that actually for Canelo, or for Triple G, Canelo is his toughest opposition to date.
You hit the nail. And DeMond Wilson, when you get him on the air with you, he is not a Triple G fan. And I can tell you right now, you're echoing what he has said about Triple G. He hasn't really fought anybody great. And one at a golf tournament, my golf tournament here last year, he got kind of into a deal with Abel Sanchez, because he says, until Triple G wins 2 or 3 titles, don't talk to me about him. He's nothing to me. When you have 2 or 3 world titles, right now he's fighting nobodies. There's nobody out there right now. You can't say he's a great fighter. And after watching his last fight, I think he's a tremendous kid. I think he's a tremendous fighter. But Canelo just keeps going and going and going. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing that really strikes me about Triple G, and it was even before his last fight against Jacobs, after his last fight against Jacobs, and even when he got in the ring to face off with Canelo, he does not look as confident as he once did.
You know, you're right. And see, now he lives in Santa Monica now, and he's got his wife and his kids there and whatnot, and he trains hard. But look, we maintain our conditioning throughout, and then I would go to training camp 3 months prior to the fight. He goes 5 to 6 weeks prior. I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. That's nowadays it's different now than, of course, we went 15 rounds back then. I don't know what the difference is, but I still like Triple G. I like Canelo. I don't think that Triple G can handle the power. Now, here's another thing. Remember, the fight with Julio Jr., that was at 165. Wait till they go, because Canelo at 160, he'll knock down a house. So that's going to make
but this is the thing. Canelo at 160 will knock down a house, but at 164, he couldn't even dent Chavez Jr.
That's right. See that 4 pounds difference? You lose your power, bro.
I know the 4 pounds is a big difference, but it's not like Chavez takes a tremendous punch.
The hell he does.
I think Chavez takes a hell of a punch. I mean, you look at Chavez's record, and the only time he's ever been stopped was by a light heavyweight in Fonfara.
Yeah, Fonfara.
Where?
But I mean, see, my thing is, I actually don't think Alvarez is that big of a puncher. I mean, when you look at his record, I mean, he didn't dent Chavez. Yeah, he beats up Liam Smith, knocks out Amir Khan, a guy who's moving up in weight. But, I mean, did he really hurt Miguel Cotto? I mean, he didn't really hurt Erislandy Lara. I just don't see big power. I mean, it looks like his best knockouts are against guys who are either smaller or they're past their prime. Canelo, I think he's got a lot of skill, and I think his counterpunching prowess is going to pose problems for Golovkin because Alvarez doesn't like to move around. He doesn't give you a lot of lateral movement, and Golovkin likes to come at you. So I think there's an interesting dynamic there. But I've never seen. I mean, this goes both ways. I've never seen Alvarez fight a puncher like Golovkin. And to Alvarez's credit, he hasn't really been stunned much. But if you go back to the Jose Miguel Cotto fight, when Canelo fought Miguel Cotto's little brother, he was actually wobbled pretty good there in the first round. You want to take a look at it. But Golovkin,
who was wobbled?
Alvarez.
He was.
Yeah,
I didn't see that fight. I gotta look that one up.
Yeah, watch
he was
the
hurt.
First round of it. Yeah, watch the first round of it. He was legitimately hurt. I mean, it was one of those things where he took a shot and just kind of shook it off. He actually wobbled a bit for I would say about 15 seconds or so because he bounces against the ropes and then he tries to get his footing and he sees some shake in his legs. But I mean, Golovkin. He to his credit, he did take some good shots against Curtis Stevens, who's a bona fide banger. He took a
David Lemieux.
Yeah, but not a lot, unfortunately. But, I mean, look at the shots he took against Danny Jacobs. I mean, we know Danny Jacobs can punch. I mean, this is a guy who's had almost 400 fights, both amateur and professional, and the word is that he's never been down. I don't know, don't really care. But, it's for me, I'm picking Golovkin here. I think he stops him late. But, of course, to your point, Mike, I do think Golovkin is on the downslide. I do think he's been on the downslide for years. I mean, how many guys do you know who are aggressive and are 35, 36 years of age, had 400 fights, and they're at their best? I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what makes this fight intriguing to me because I think if it's Triple G in his prime, I think just the styles. I mean, Canelo's going to stand in front of him. He's going to use quick hands, but he's going to take some shots. And I just don't think he's got the firepower, Ruben, to do that with Triple G. But my question is this, all right? I think you saw with Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs would let Golovkin lead and would counter him. The question is, can Canelo change his game plan where he becomes a counterpuncher?
You can't. I don't think. I think that both of them have the mindset to go try to take each other out, because I can tell you right now, if Canelo got hurt in that fight you guys are talking about, Abel Sanchez knows about it, and if that happened, I can tell you right now. In fact, I'm going to ask him on Saturday, because if he knows that, there's not a doubt in my mind he'll send him after him. And here's the thing: the most dangerous part of a fight are the first 3 rounds, because you're not warmed up. These kids nowadays, we used to come into the ring with a full-blown sweat. So you know the first 3 rounds, you get hit, you're going to go down because you're not warmed up. Your body's still cold, and it's dangerous. And I don't know what happened with Canelo, but if that happened, that's going to change everything. I'm going to watch this fight. But now, I think that Canelo can either stop him, but then again, you guys are talking about he don't have any knockouts, and
yeah, if you look at him, I mean, Matthew Hatton goes the distance with him. Laura goes the distance. Cotto. I mean, an old Sugar Shane Mosley. I mean, this is the thing. Old Sugar Shane Mosley goes the distance with you. Cotto goes the distance with you. How are you going to dent Golovkin? I mean, Golovkin's a guy that, I mean, Chavez can take a punch, but Golovkin I mean, he's got a hell of a beard. I mean, David Lemieux, I guarantee you this. David Lemieux and Curtis Stevens, both, who are legitimate middleweights, both hit harder than what Canelo hits. They're not as good of fighters, but they hit harder.
Did they catch him on his chin?
Yeah. I mean, Stevens caught him a couple times. Lemieux got him once or twice. And these are guys that usually when they hit people, the people don't stand up too well.
Yeah,
and the same thing with Jacobs. Jacobs was, 32 wins with 30 or 31 knockouts?
And he was 178 pounds going into that fight.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's a lot of weight.
So I think the best chance for Canelo is if Golovkin is slowed down enough where Canelo can use his speed to actually win the fight.
I can't wait till you guys get DeMond Wilson. That guy, he knows so much about boxing, and he lives for boxing. And he likes Canelo. He doesn't like Triple G. And you know what's so funny? You guys, of course, you saw the fight. Mike, you saw it on the streaming live because you don't want to pay for it. But the fight.
I'm broke, man. I got 3 kids. I got bills to pay, Ruben. And Jeremiah did the same thing I did. So don't sit there, Jeremiah, like you're rich.
I wasn't going to pay for that crap. I already knew the fight was going to stop.
I got to tell you what DeMond told me. And I don't pay a lot of attention to styles. I mean, I know the styles make fights, but I know fighters, but he told me, DeMond says, Julio Cesar Jr. is not going to fight tall. He wants to be like his dad so bad, it's killing him. So he's gonna squat down, and he's gonna want to move like his dad, and Canelo's gonna beat the shit out of him. And I watched the fight, and that's exactly what he did. Chavez fought small. He didn't fight tall. If I were in his corner, oh my goodness gracious. Chavez has a hell of a jab. Why didn't he use it? Jab, move. Let him come in, hit him with the right hand coming in, fight tall. Because he had him like 5 inches in length and height, What and when DeMond told me that, I watched for that. I go, this guy knows what he's talking about. That's crazy.
Well, I was wondering why Chavez didn't try to close the distance, because you can see that Chavez has a good left hook to the body. I mean, certainly he learned it from his father, but right. I don't understand why he didn't close the distance with the jab. Maybe throw a right hand and then follow it up with a left hook to the body. He didn't throw enough punches at all. I mean, but the kid lacks nuance too. He lacks nuance. He doesn't faint.
I can tell you exactly why. He fought scared.
I think that he embarrassed himself, but I think he wanted to make damn sure after those first 2 or 3 rounds that Canelo didn't knock him out.
Yeah, he didn't fight to win. He didn't fight to win. He fought not to get knocked out.
Yeah.
that's a shame.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you could see his father was just embarrassed by the whole ordeal.
You guys, you got to look this up. I got a friend of mine sent me this thing that came out on Facebook right after the fight. It's a picture of Maury Povich and a picture of Julio rejoicing. His mouth is open, like he just won the lottery. On the picture of Maury Povich, it says, DNA tests are in. You are not the father.
And Chavez is putting his hands up, isn't he? He's
putting his hands up. He goes, yeah!
That would be the perfect picture for this show, don't you think? That
is hilarious.
We need to find that meme and put it as the picture for this review show.
I'm gonna, I can text it to you right now. It is incredibly hysterical because I like Maury Povich. I like to watch Maury Povich because, man, there's so many people there that really, they had a girl there like 200 times. She couldn't find the phone.
I've seen that girl before. But see, the great thing about the Maury Povich show is you watch it and it makes you feel better about yourself.
I know. That's crazy. I'm going to text you.
Because, you might think yourself, I'm fucked up. But then you watch that show and you think, well, they're fucked up worse. I'm
not so bad off, right?
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, I was really disappointed in Chavez. I knew he was never going to be anything. It's just that he's on his dad's coattail, So it is what it is. Yeah. But I think that Canelo fight with I think the Canelo fight with Maury Povich would be a good fight. Don't you think?
So you think Canelo fighting Maury Povich would be a good fight, Ruben?
I think it'd be a tremendous fight.
I would love to see that fight. And the winner fights Triple G?
Then the winner fights Triple G. Or to fight Chavez Jr. in a rematch.
Well, I think Maury Povich could take Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. is going to hunch over, and I think Maury Povich is going to use his height and his length and just jab the shit out of him.
Yeah. You are not the champion.
I think Senior could take Junior at this point.
Of course.
Well, yeah, that's the father and the son. The father can always whip the son's ass, no matter what the son does.
And I tell my son, I don't care if I'm 70, I'll still whoop your ass. Because I know where you can't take a shot. So, and his dad's got to know. You can't ever whoop Dad's ass. Come on now, Pops. It's still sending it to you, my brother. But anyway, you'll get it before the end of the show. Let's talk about Juan Laporte. You're supposed to have Juan on today, right?
Yeah.
And so Juan, I called him, and of course he couldn't do whatever happened. But anyway, that guy is such a great guy. He's such an interesting guy. And I wish you would have gone on. He could have come on tonight because I wanted you to remind him what I said about when he stepped on my foot. This guy reminds me of he's a Puerto Rican Mancini. He
was a great fight. It's like Jeremiah was saying. I mean, we've both been watching these fights over the last couple of days, and he's about the toughest son of a bitch you'll ever find. Yeah,
but here's the thing about him. If you tie his hands, he can't talk. Just like Ray Mancini. Raymond attacks with his hands. Oh my goodness, crazy because he's Italian. But Laporte, Juanito gets real excited, and he starts talking with his hands, and he'll start a sentence, won't finish it, go to something else, and he's got you in right field. But he was tough, bro. I don't know if you guys pulled up the fight with him and I. It was a good fight. We went to the dirt.
Yeah, I watched that fight this morning.
Jeremiah, did you see the fight with me and Salvador Sanchez?
Yeah, I watched just about every fight I could find of yours. So I watched just about everything that was available on YouTube.
I'm trying to find. There's a fight with a guy from Panama named Hector Carrasquilla. I used to have the video, and I loaned it to Efren Herrera, and that fat ass doesn't remember, and it's gone.
Well, I'm going to have Efren on our NFL Legends show next Wednesday night, so I'm going to bust his balls about that and ask him where the hell your tape is.
Ruben loaned you a fight of his with a guy by the name of Hector Carrasquilla, and he said, no, I didn't. No, he didn't. But I did. And Ephraim, he was a tough guy, but he's just a field goal kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a movie together. Him and I did a film with Carlos Palomino called, what the hell was it called? And we filmed, and Danny Lopez was in it, and Bobby and I, and Alexis Arguello, and it was we shot it in Hawaii, and these Samoans started messing with Danny. So I told Alexis, look at these guys. And these guys were ginormous, bro. And I remember back then I was still fighting. I weighed 130 pounds, and Danny was 126 pounds. And these big fat asses were messing with Danny. Danny ordered a beer, they take it. He ordered another one, they take it. Okay, we're done. I walked over there, and I said, you two fat asses better give him back his beer, or you're going to get the shit kicked out of both of you. And the guy goes, oh, really? And I slapped this motherfucker so hard. I slapped him. I go, I let you get away with one, you son of a bitch. Now get up and I'll flatten you. And you know, Ephraim come up, he says, Rube, you knock him down, I'll kick him.
I remember a Carlos Palomino movie with Alexis Arguello called Fist of Steel. Was that it?
Fist of Steel, my friend.
There you go.
You're looking all this shit up, aren't you? You guys are pretty
I'm not looking it up. I remember actually seeing the movie.
It's called Fist of Steel. I was in it. And
I remember I remember Carlos and Alexis. I'm sorry. I'll watch the movie again now, just so I can look for it.
I love him to death. He's a great guy. He was the best man at my wedding that cost me the most, but it's okay. But he's always doing. I don't know why he never landed anything. He was in that, what's that movie, Geronimo.
Yeah, actually I saw that too. He was actually a good actor.
Well, he was a better fighter. We'll just do that. So
put it like this: he was a good actor for a fighter. How about that?
No, I'm a better actor than him. Look up a movie called The Big Turnaround with Ernest Borgnine and that kid, that redheaded kid. Oh God, what's his name? He's in everything right now. He did the movie where he was a teacher and then he started making crystal meth and he was in this big what the hell's his name?
What was the name of the movie again?
The one I was in? Oh, it was the Big Turnaround. And he starred in it. That was his first starring role. His father was a producer, and I had like the second, third lead part in this movie. It's a B movie. Never did anything, but there's a girl named Ty Randolph. Ooh. But anyway, Carlos wanted her. I got her.
There you go, Ruben Castillo. You were Juan.
Huh?
Your name was Juan in the movie.
Juan, that's right.
That's what it says. And I did look that one up because I don't know anything about The Big Turnaround. But
yeah, that was okay. It's okay movie. But anyway, Carlos Palomino, one of my best of friends, and you're gonna have him on your show, right?
Carlos has been on the show, but Carlos was like one of my first boxing guests like 2 years ago.
Was he hard to understand?
No.
Call him now.
Huh?
Call him now. He's got mush mouth. How about Mondo Muñiz?
Hey, remember, we're recording all this now, Ruben.
Okay. I'm not afraid of Carlos. I'll kick his ass.
That's not what I'm saying. Actually, Mondo Muniz is one that I am going to call because we're completely booked next week. We got Evander Holyfield, thanks to you with the phone number Saturday night.
I want your listeners to know, when you interview Lafitte Pincay, did you see the deal, the show that he was on Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, about would you be a lawn jockey for real for $15,000?
Isn't that the funniest skit? Oh my God! And I said, Lafitte, that the thing with Jimmy Kimmel, he goes, "Ese maricón," and he was hot because Lafitte had no idea the questions that he was, and he made him look like a deer in headlights. He said, Lafitte, what's up with those horses? And he goes, what about them? What's up with them? Well, they're fast. Oh my God, you guys are gonna have a good time with him. Lafitte is a great guy, the winningest jockey ever. He was one of the. I think he's probably the only jockey to ever make $100 million racing.
Yeah,
Good.
and then also next Thursday night we'll have Livingstone Bramble on the show, also on the Boxing Legends show.
My brother, Bramble, he's funny. That guy will smoke an acre of weed in a 2.3 minutes. I'm telling you, that guy is incredible. Incredible. You know, black guys sometimes they're known for lips, whatever. This guy, when he gets his lips on a hooter, oh my word, he ain't letting go. He was a hell of a fighter. I like Bramble. Bramble's a good friend of mine.
All right, Jeremiah, you get the next question.
Ruben, are you racist? No, I hate everybody.
You know, I can't blame you. You know, it makes it hard seeing some of the, especially. Where do you live? You live in L.A. County? Where do you live?
I live in Beaumont. I live close to Morongo Casino, and it's on the way. It's from Los Angeles. It's going east. I'm not going to tell you exactly where, because your listeners come over here and start shit with me.
Yeah, Jeremiah's still pissed off at you for telling me all this shit about boxing because of Lomachenko. He may be looking for your ass.
Don't shit about boxing, bro. If you think Lomachenko's... And don't worry, Damon Wilson does too. He thinks... And you tell Damon, Ruben don't think the Lomachenko's were the crap. And he'll tell you. But anyway, I'm out here in Beaumont. It's really nice out here. It's real quiet. It was when we got here. I don't know about after this show, but it's really cool. It's going towards Palm Springs, coming from Los Angeles to the east. We're not far from Palm Springs and Palm Desert. It's nice. We're in the high desert. It's very nice.
Yeah, I only asked because I've been to L.A. a bunch of times, and if I had to deal with that traffic, I'd probably hate humans too.
Well, you know, exactly. And see, you're in Denver, you guys, hey, come on now. Denver's got traffic, but there's nothing like here.
No.
And where I'm at, there's absolutely, you know what it is? Check this out, Mike. There's absolutely no crime, but you hear ambulances, fire department, and cops every day. That's because this place is infested with old people, and they're dying every day. A house where my mother-in-law is, you know how I feel about that woman. That where she lives, a house goes up for sale every day. And I can't wait for hers to go up for sale. I can't wait. I can't wait for hers to go for sale. Put that thing up because there's people they're dying every day out here. So it's so quiet because there's so many old people. And check this out, you guys. I hope your listeners are ready for this one. There's two men that are younger. You got to be 55 and up to live there. They're 55 going on 40, and they're boning all these old ladies and taking their money. No, listen to this. This is crazy. That community has more STD than a college campus. These two guys are infested with whatever and passing on to all these old. Their things are falling off of them because of these two guys. And I told them, I said, I wonder if it's this guy, because there was one guy that was driving a Corvette and another guy driving a Porsche. I think those are the two pimps. And these ladies have crabs. They got chatos. The
guys are having a good time.
Somebody is.
You got the itch afterwards, but it's a good time until you get there.
Jeremiah's speaking like he's had some experience with that there, Ruben.
Jeremiah, let me tell you, bro, there's a country club there, and I think the youngest lady I've seen there, of course she has to be over 55, but she is hot, and I'm thinking, I wonder if those two guys have hit this, because that I had a lot of fights, and I have an excuse to do shit like that because I fought Chavez, I fought Laporte, I fought Alexis, I fought a bunch of people in the top 10. I fought Juan Escobar, I fought Hector Carrasquilla, 38-1 with 36 knockouts, and I flattened him in 3. But I can do stuff like that and get away with it because I tell them, listen, it's not me. It's not me. I didn't really hit that woman. It's because Chavez and these guys, and I thought she was you. I can get away with it. I can do it. So we still talking about boxing or what?
I have no clue what the hell we're talking about, Ruben.
And here's another thing. I want you guys, listeners. I want you guys. You guys. These guys need sponsors. We got to get some sponsors to these guys, because you won't be able to hear me in all of our stupid stories and all these great guys that he's got coming on. If you guys don't get them sponsors, we got to get. You know what? Fuck it. You guys don't get them shit. I will. All right. Let's talk about boxing.
All right. And real quick, I do want to bring up that thanks to Ruben, who got us the phone numbers, we do have Evander Holyfield Saturday night, Livingstone Bramble next Thursday night. And also, as he said, one of the greatest jockeys of all time, Lafitte Penkai, will be on next Thursday. Former Seattle Seahawk kicker Efren Herrera on Wednesday night. Former Cincinnati Bengals kicker Jim Breach on Tuesday night. Former Dodger legend Maury Wills on Monday. And we will be having, I think, Ray Mancini on here in the next week or two. We'll be finalizing that next week. So I know Jeremiah helped a lot, or not Jeremiah. Jeremiah didn't help on any damn thing. But Ruben helped on a lot of these. I'm just kidding, Jeremiah. But Ruben helped on a lot of these, and we really want to, thank him.
No. It's a pleasure because, I know how tough it is for you guys. But, in our business, we know everybody, and everybody knows everybody. So, and if you need more, and what you need to do is get your listeners to call in and say, hey, how about this guy? Or how about this guy? People they want to hear. The lineup you have is very good. Ray Leonard is a friend, but Raymond's, he's tough to nail down. But you got a good list. You have a really good list, and you got to bring DeMond Wilson. You got to bring him on. That guy, he was on Sanford and Son. He was Lamont on Sanford and Son for all the people out there remember that. But he's a great, huge boxing fan. And DeMond is a guy that will talk and talk and talk. He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have him on. I got a call in to him. Just haven't heard back from him yet, but he'll definitely be on also. Also, guys, remember, check out The Grueling Truth at thegruelingtruth.net. We had an NFL Legend show today with former Cincinnati Bengal Ken Riley, who's still the second leading interceptor in NFL history at the cornerback position with 65. So that was a great interview. Went about an hour, but make sure you check that out also. Jeremiah, let's go back to talking a little boxing.
Yeah, let's do it. What do we got this weekend?
Huh?
I said, yeah, let's do that. What do we got this weekend?
I don't know. You're supposed to know what's coming up next. I'm the guy that watched boxing before 1990.
Yeah, I was just throwing you the bone. I mean, really all we got is Josh Warrington versus Kiko Martinez. I mean, it's a good fight. Unfortunately, Kiko Martinez is a bit past his prime, and he's taken a few beatings from guys like Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton twice, but he's an action-packed guy. I mean, he comes and gets it. The guy's from Spain. He's been fighting a lot in the UK for many, many years now. And if he was in his prime, I'd actually favor him to beat Josh Warrington. Warrington is he's a go-getter himself. He doesn't have much power, unfortunately, but he has a high work rate. He tries to overwhelm you with volume as opposed to power. But again, with his power, I don't see him going to the top level. But in this fight, I just think he outworks Kiko Martinez. It's a good fight. It's worth a watch, but it's nothing special.
What is that on? Is it on HBO or?
It's going to be in England.
Oh, hell.
Oh, you can get it in England. You just need a Amazon Fire Stick with a Kodi box, and you can watch everything for free. It's how I streamed a fight for free last weekend.
Well, I'm not that smart, and if it's not Showtime, HBO.
Neither am I, but I'm that cheap, so I'll go out of my way.
If it's not HBO,
he's resourceful.
Or Showtime.
Yeah, I'm broke but resourceful.
Resourceful.
So I'll see everything, but it'll just be in a slightly different way. But it also makes me feel like, this is what I do, all right? When I'm getting a fight, and I'm not supposed to get it that way because you're supposed to pay for it, what I like to do is sit at my house, and while I'm watching the fight, I listen to Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal.
Now I know I'm inviting you guys to my fight. At least, and I don't care, I'll pay all expenses, but at least I know you're not ripping me off on the pay-per-view. You're going to be live.
Oh, no, I'm not ripping you off on the pay-per-view. You might as well bring me there because I'm going to be watching it for free anyway.
That's my exact point. I would rather spend $2,000 bringing you there than you trying to bone me out of, $14.90. Well, we got to start low. $14.95.
Well, this is the thing. If I've got a fight that like Canelo and Triple G, I'll probably pay for that. Just because, to me, that's worth paying for. I got no problem with it. But putting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on a pay-per-view card, to me, is stealing to begin with by Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Productions.
Let me ask you a question. If I got you guys 2 tickets to the fights, would you guys fly out to them?
If what? Oh,
if I got you tickets to the Canelo Triple G.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's a done deal. I'm going to purchase like 25 tickets, and Abel Sanchez gets up, and we have to sit in the Triple G section, which is ringside, but all of his fans and family.
Well, I'm cheering for Triple G anyway. So
I like him.
I'm buying apparel as we speak.
Well, Jeremiah will be there cheering for Vasil Lomachenko because he doesn't know shit about boxing. But
God, I hope he's on the undercard. Fuck.
No, he's not. He's that good yet.
If he is, then Jeremiah will be his fluffer before the fight.
I'm telling you, DeMond Wilson is in love with Lomachenko. I don't think
so. Jeremiah.
My son likes him. My son likes him a lot. I don't see shit in him, but that's just me.
So,
I don't know shit about boxing. But anyway, we'll do that, guys. We'll do that. Let's do that.
All right.
Well, come out. You have ringside seats.
I'm hoping that they stage it in AT&T Stadium. I mean, that's the word, right? Where the Cowboys play.
No, where? It's going to be in Vegas, bro.
They haven't announced that yet. De La Hoya is getting a bunch of places offering him a lot of money.
Yeah,
and Jerry Jones is one of them down in Dallas.
And Dubai is another one. But more likely than not, it's going to be in Vegas.
Probably.
There's going to be more money there. You got all the high rollers. You got all the hookers. Bro, you can't even imagine.
Price gouge.
Huh?
The casinos can price gouge. That's why it's so damn expensive.
Yeah, that's true too. But we get caught.
I thought Jeremiah was complaining about the hookers price gouging, but go ahead.
They do that too.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you talking boxing, I'm talking
hotel.
Red light district.
You got to have a place to accommodate them, because I figure like this: who are we to deprive them of a good time, and then pay them? Come on now. So but that fight, I think that's going to be fight of the year.
Well, you know what I always say: the only time I've ever paid for sex is when I got married.
Bro, and you're not done. Don't leave her. Now remember this.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I've been with my wife 21 years.
I'm at 27, but my wife, that's my fourth wife, bro. The other 3, I married housekeepers. They kept my houses.
Old Willie Pep line, huh?
They kept them, and the divorce. They all cried a river, bitches. All right, guys, I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and because it's late over there for you guys, right?
It's about 10:30 my time.
Damn. So I'll be talking to you, and let me know, Michael, when you can get Laporte on. We're gonna have to send him a calling card or some shit.
Yeah, we'll figure out some way to get him on, because we definitely want to get him on.
He's a great guy. You'll like him.
All right. I'll give you a call tomorrow, Ruben. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Jeremiah,
all right. Talk to you later, my friend.
Okay. You guys be cool.
All right. See ya. All right. So, always entertaining, Ruben Castillo. I think he's by far my favorite guest so far. Ruben.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the wealth of stories that guy has is incredible. I mean, the guys he rubs elbows with. I mean, this guy could fill up show after show with material.
Yeah, and he has for 2 weeks now. Definitely, though, Canelo Triple G was a disappointment. I think the next big one we got coming up is in 2 weeks, Terrence Crawford, or a week and a half, Terrence Crawford?
Yeah, Terrence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. I mean, it's a good fight. I think Diaz is a step up in competition from what Crawford has been doing, against, guys like, John Molina Jr., which is a complete mismatch. I mean, this is the best fight for Crawford, in my opinion, since his fight with Postal. I think it's a good fight. I mean, Diaz Jr. was underrated coming up, even though he won a gold medal for the Dominican Republic. I think it's a good fight. I mean, Diaz is a bit bigger. Crawford has a tendency to be a bit bigger than his opponents as well. But it's a good fight. I like it.
All right. Well, I guess we will go ahead and wrap the show up for this week because we've been on here for a while now, Jeremiah. Anytime we get Ruben on, this time kind of flies by. But I want to remind everybody to check out thegruelingtruth.net. You can catch my Legends interview, or Football Legends interview with Ken Riley, former Cincinnati Bengal great today. Also, you can check out our interview last week with Ruben Castillo on his career. Next Thursday night, we will have Livingstone Pitbull Bramble, former lightweight champion of the world. This coming Saturday night, we will have Evander, the real deal Holyfield, former heavyweight champion, one of the top 10 heavyweights of all time. Jeremiah, any final words?
No real final words. I mean, it's exciting to have guys like Ruben Castillo on, Evander Holyfield. I mean, these are big things for the gruelingtruth.net, and we're just going to keep growing and growing. So keep tuning in.
Most definitely. Remember, you can catch all of our shows on iHeart, iTunes, TuneIn. Anywhere you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. Make sure you check out our two main sponsors, replenishingcaretechnologies.com and gridironmode.com. So make sure you check those guys out. So for Ruben Castillo, Jeremiah Preisser, I am Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends